In late 1941, during World War II, the United Kingdom was struggling to halt Nazi Germany's attempts to take over Europe, with London regularly suffering bombing runs by the Luftwaffe. Their supply and aid ships are constantly being sunk by German submarines. Brigadier Colin Gubbins, with the indirect backing of Prime Minister Winston Churchill, prepares to initiate Operation Postmaster, an off-the-books Black Ops sabotage mission intended to disrupt the Nazis' U-boat resupply operation on the Spanish-controlled island of Fernando Po. While SOE agents Marjorie Stewart and Richard Herron depart by train, Gubbins enlists Gus March Phillips to assemble a ground team to destroy the Italian supply ship Duchessa d'Aosta and 2 tugboats attached to it. Using the neutral Swedish fishing trawler Maid of Honor, Gus and his allies Graham Hayes, Freddie Alvarez, and Danish naval officer Anders Lassen, the only non-British subject to be awarded the Victoria Cross, begin to slow sail to Fernando Po. Upon discovering the SOE saboteur Geoffrey Appleyard, whom Gubbins had sent ahead on the assumption that Gus would want him on the team, was captured by Gestapo agents. They diverted course to a Nazi-controlled section in the Canary Islands for a rescue mission. Meanwhile, arriving early on Fernando Po, Marjorie and Herring used the latter's illegal gambling hall to recruit backup for Gus's team, while Marjorie seduces Henrik Lure, the SS commander in charge. Upon learning that the Duchessa intends to depart 3 days ahead of schedule, Gus has his crew sail through a British naval blockade of Nazi-occupied West Africa, despite knowing they'll be arrested should their unauthorized mission be discovered. On the night of the intended raid, Marjorie and Herron learn that Lure has had the Duchessa's hull reinforced despite the Italian attaché's reservations. Barely warned of this in time, Gus and Appleyard decide that their best course of action is to hijack the ships and use them as a bartering chip after a mole in Gubbins' staff reveals the mission to senior command. Although Lure eventually catches on when Marjorie's acts begin to slip, the raid is ultimately successful, and Marjorie shoots Lure in the head. Delivering the boats to a British fleet outside Lagos, the team is nonetheless arrested. While waiting to be court-martialed, they are saved and recruited by Churchill as part of his Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, as their actions have not only severely damaged the Nazis' naval strength, but also have allowed the United States, who recently entered the war following the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, to join the European theater. A montage of details before the end credits reveals the post-operation activities of several protagonists. Gus became a war hero and led several similar raids during the war before marrying Marjorie at the start of her acting career. Appleyard received several commendations for his role in the mission, much to the king's amusement. Hayes went on to become a highly accomplished spy, notable for surviving a year of Nazi torture without breaking. Lassen participated in raids outside the group until his death in 1945. Ian Fleming, who had been part of Gubbins' inner circle during this time, used Operation Postmaster as the inspirational basis for his James Bond novels. Ritchie's approach is heavily influenced by Quentin Tarantino, especially evident in the tone set by Inglourious Basterds. The film features an outstanding ensemble cast in nearly all the leading roles, except for Churchill. Instead of suspense, the audience experiences a sense of delight watching the characters succeed despite setbacks. When the team discovers at the last minute that they can't sink the Duchessa, they scramble to find an alternative way to deprive the Germans of its cargo. Their solution resembles something James Bond might do, defying orders to attempt something far more dangerous. This not only risks the men's lives, but also international diplomacy, as the mission was intended to be something Churchill could plausibly deny. This aspect of the plot feels the least developed, as audiences are now accustomed to rogue agents ignoring the formalities and laws of war. It doesn't entirely make sense that such a mission would be frowned upon back home, although it adds a slight thrill for Gus and his team since the British Navy can't assist them and is ready to arrest and court-martial them if the plan fails. While sometimes cartoonish, the behavior here is far removed from the PG-13 adventures of Ian Fleming's gentleman spy, with his tailored tuxedo and meticulous cocktail preferences. Ritchie brings his own unique twist to the mix. Thank you very much for watching the whole video. And if you have a movie or TV show that you want us to cover, just comment it down below. We'll make a video of it in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our playlist for more recaps.